right, we are live and we are here. It is time for the 2025 NFL Draft at last. And at long last, we are ready. We are here. And man, I've been waiting on this one for far too long. I've seen so many mock drafts. I've done so many mock drafts. I'm just ready to get this draft started. All right. So we've been hearing some very interesting things so far while I wait on Ben and Paul to waltz on in. Paul will be in just a little while. Ben will be calling in later in the evening from a very interesting location. So you got just me right now to handle until then. In the meantime, there's some very interesting things that we've been hearing and that I in particular have been hearing. I'm sure everybody's heard of the whole Ashton Ginty is being looked at by Jacksonville quite a lot. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Trust the guy who would know. So they are indeed heavily looking at Ashton Ginty, and then they decide, okay, maybe we won't look at Ashton Ginty. They're just trying to create a smokescreen, as all teams usually do, all because the real target, they've always had it, they've always said it, is Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter manages to manages to get all the way down to 5, he's not going any farther. Welcome to Jacksonville in that case. I'd be willing to bet a good bit on that. Now, the only thing that I also hope does not happen tonight, Brandon Bean, don't make a trade with the Chiefs again, please. It was bad enough when you did it last year because last year everybody complained when we drafted Keon Coleman, except Ben and I. Ben and I were very happy. Everybody else is very upset. And now you got a little bit more of a pressing need to, fill instead of wide receiver. I know everybody's going to probably be on me. Oh, but we need a wide receiver at 30. No, no, you don't. You can address wide receiver later in the draft. I've said this for many, 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 many months. Bills need cornerback and defensive tackle in rounds 1 and 2 first. Unless, hey, you want to give the Yinzers your second round pick, I would be all for that. Give the Yinzers give the Yinzers pick 56. We'll give you a lot more in exchange. But that probably won't happen. At the moment, it seems as if Bills are most likely going to, I don't know. Bean had said a lot. Personally, if you want to trade up, I think this is the draft to do so. Trade up, get yourself that guy. And I think if you make the trade up, if you're Brandon Bean, it would have to be for a guy like Kenneth Grant if he just happens to be there. All right. We got Roger Goodell on the stage right now. It looks like I don't have anything. I'm obviously not going to play any kind of audio, but I'm sure that he is actively booing everyone in mass, or everyone in mass is actively booing him. All right, and the Titans are officially on the clock. Let the madness begin and let the carnage begin because you know it's going to get absolutely wild. At least that's what we've so far been hearing. And I would love to see some explosive picks, but I would love to see some chaotic picks. I want to see just the dumbest picks like we had when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones a few years ago. That would be hilarious. Or maybe who knows? Maybe they draft Shador Sanders. That would be hilarious. I want to see that happen, like, a lot. I wanna see them do something stupid. It's the Giants, I think they will. Either the Giants or the Browns. The Browns are, as we all know, the factory of sadness. They will do pretty much anything in the realm of stupidity. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Apparently, they're still trying to trade with Jacksonville, but they said if they make the trade, it won't be until they're actually on the clock. So this is going to be interesting, very interesting. Because if the Browns are trading down, then you'd think that the Jags are trading up. Well, obviously. Who am I, Booger McFarland? No, no, no. You'd have to think the Jags, if they're trading up just a few spots, really, really want, I would assume, Travis Hunter. That's who they've been talking about in their circles for a while. But who knows? That's the beauty of the draft. You just don't ever know. I mean, if I was the Browns, I would want to do the smart thing. I would want to just stay put at number 2 and take Abdul Carter. Having him paired with Myles Garrett would be absolutely disgusting. I really, I mean, you could address quarterback later on if you're the Browns. Like, you take Abdul Carter at 2, then you try to either trade back up into the first round if you really like a guy and you think someone's going to get him, or you take your quarterback of the future at 33. Because I'm pretty sure, unless there's a huge run starting with the Saints, that there's not going to be that they're going to have their choice of quarterback at 33, unless for whatever reason the Raiders decide to do the stupid and take Shador Sanders ahead of the Saints. But here we go. Tennessee's on the clock and it's about to get interesting. We all say that it's going to be interesting, but we all know this is Cam Ward. It would actually be really, really funny if they didn't take Cam Ward. I think that would be hilarious. Could you imagine if they took Abdul Carter with the first overall pick? You'd have to have a lot of faith in Will Levis or, yeah, I assume it's quarterbacking the Titans. That would just be too funny. I want to see it happen, though. I want to see the Titans do something crazy right here. Yeah, quarterbacks on the Titans roster: Will Levis, Brandon Allen, and Tim Boyle. Well, I mean, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. What's to say Will Levis can't? Obviously, that team was just unbelievably stacked. They had probably the greatest defense, or one of the greatest defenses the league has ever seen. And it will be very interesting tonight. The Titans were not going to get that close. Abdul Carter is not about to just do that. But this is going to be something else. I am just amazed that Tennessee is just letting the clock wind down at this point. Like, they're just sitting there. You'd have to have thought they already made the pick. They already know exactly who it is they want. They'd been saying it for weeks now. They were like, "Oh, we absolutely know we're not trading out of number 1. We know who we want." I'm like, "All right, okay, then why are you just sitting there? Just go ahead and make the pick." Showing it on the NFL Network stream right now. Quite amazing that one of their they were just talking about the last first round picks the Titans had. Oh, Isaiah Wilson has to be one of the biggest busts of all time, one that a lot of people literally forget about. And I think that's crazy. People always are going to remember the quarterback bust like Jamarcus Russell or Johnny Manziel, but Isaiah Wilson, man, actually worst draft pick I think I've ever seen in my life. Not even Daniel Jones was that bad because at least Daniel Jones, unlike a certain somebody in South Florida, has won a playoff game. Hmm. So interestingly enough, according to Adam Schefter, at one point the Giants had actually offered this year and next year's first round pick to go to number one, and Tennessee said no. I don't blame Tennessee at all. I would have much rather said, okay, you know what, then we'll just take Cam Ward and be set ourselves. Consider the AFC South as a whole. The Texans really just kind of stumbled into the end of the season. Jacksonville completely collapsed in on itself, which quite normal, honestly. Meanwhile, I mean, the Colts, yeah, what are they going to do? Meanwhile, the Titans have a good opportunity here. Make a little bit of noise, even though Cam Ward definitely won't fix your franchise overnight. It's very rare that a quarterback does. I mean, Josh Allen spent the better of 2 years really becoming what he is now, and Patrick Mahomes even spent, most of 1 year behind Alex Smith before 2018, and then he straight up just came in and dominated. Oh, and according to Ari on Twitter, yes, the Titans were indeed told to milk the clock. So they probably already know, but they're being told to do this, which is kind of absurd. I don't know why on earth you would just milk the clock. Most of us want to know who you're picking. And most of us just want to see Cam Ward go already. And the pick is in. I mean, we already know who this is. If it ain't the most obvious pick on the planet, let's just be completely honest with ourselves right now. This is absolutely Cam Ward. If it's not Cam Ward, then somebody is getting fired. Unless it's Abdul Carter, then you have maybe like a slight case to be like, you know what? Maybe we won't fire you. But if it's anybody else like Travis Hunter, yeah, I would fire them on the spot. I shouldn't even like Cam Ward. He's the Miami quarterback. I really should not like the guy, but he is a very talented quarterback. I mean, I had said it even as a Seminoles fan. The Seminoles should have waited until that he was going to come out of the draft, or you know what I mean? Yeah, until he came out of the draft before they signed him. But anyway, here we go. Titans selection, most obvious one ever. And yeah, we all knew that. They just announced it. Cam Ward, round one, pick one. Easiest choice Tennessee has ever made and probably will make in this entire draft. As a matter of fact, it's probably the easiest pick that any team is going to make. Period. Everything else now just becomes a whole lot of What do we do from here? What, what happens now? Which we have a trade. The Browns have traded the number 2 overall pick to the Jaguars. This is interesting. The Jaguars are trading the number 5 overall pick, a second round pick, a fourth round pick, and their 2026 first round pick to the Browns. And the Browns are trading the number 2 overall, a fourth round pick, and a sixth round pick to the Jaguars. So Jacksonville is on the clock. If they were serious about Travis Hunter, here he goes. But if the rumors about Ashton Jeanty are true, which I had heard that they did have a little bit of smoke around it. This is going to be interesting now. So now the Cleveland Browns have picks 33 and 36 on top of having the 5th overall pick. If they want their quarterback, they got all the ammo in the world for it now. I'm looking forward to this. Let's see how they ruin it. Honestly, this is I hope this is I hope this is Travis Hunter. For the Jags locals, I hope this is Travis Hunter. Straight up. I had long had my own qualms about Travis Hunter, but I think that if this is actually going to be him, then I think Jacksonville might be the worst possible landing spot. And I hate to say it because he's very, very talented, but I think that they would try to use him in both receiver and cornerback very, very often. Like they will use him. Other teams like the Browns might have used him more at one spot than the other. Even the Giants might have used him at one spot or another because they've got the talent at wide receiver. The Giants in particular, Malik Neighbors. But the Jags, I mean, they've got good pieces. We aren't talking about that one guy, if you know what I mean. But this is going to be very interesting now. I'm loving the commentary right now going on everywhere about people just clowning the Browns. It is genuinely hilarious to see right now because it is true. They could have easily just taken Travis Hunter right here, or they actually could have gone Abdul Carter, which would have been the smarter thing to do. I don't think the Jags are going to go Abdul Carter, but I think it would actually be fairly interesting to see. Just stack that defensive line, pair him with a guy like let him cook. The pick is indeed in. So now we're about to find out exactly what's happening. If you ask me, this has to be Travis Hunter. But this is the same franchise that decided Trayvon Walker was the guy over Aiden Hutchinson. So there is that. I still can't believe, honestly, that Miles Garrett decided, you know what? Let's go back to Cleveland. What an idea, right? Meanwhile, they did this. Could have easily paired him with Abdul Carter and had a force on the defensive front, and now they are trading it away for Mason Graham, probably either Mason Graham or who knows, maybe 5 is their quarterback choice. It would not shock me at all. It is the Browns, but I'm telling you, the Jags have for months wanted Travis Hunter. They have been up in arms over Travis Hunter. If this is not Travis Hunter, I will be surprised. They want him in a bad way, and I wouldn't be shocked if this pick right here is for Travis Hunter. The pick's in, but they just have to wait forever on it. Why? I don't really understand. Like, I'm pretty sure we know what this was. Oh, here comes Roger Goodell the minute I said it. All right. All right. Announce this pick, big man. See this guy. Yeah, Eric Armstead. Even he does it better than the coach. Duval. I can't get behind that. Come on, Liam Cohen. All right, make that pick, Mr. Armstead, because we all already know who it is. This organization has wanted this man for months. Take Travis Hunter. I told y'all. Told y'all. They had been wanting him for months. Now they got him. Travis Hunter to the Jaguars. Daggum, I don't even live that close to Jacksonville, and I already hear everybody yelling. I find it amazing that they announced Travis Hunter as both wide receiver and cornerback. That's going to basically be exactly what they do in Jacksonville. They will abuse him to no end. It's not like I said earlier, not like if he had gone to New York, he would have probably been more on the cornerback side, or at Cleveland, he would have might have been more on the receiver side. Even in New England, shoot, he probably would have been more on the receiver side. Here at Jacksonville, they're going to play him both sides very heavily. I hope he does well though. I always want to see the Florida teams do well, especially the ones closest to me. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter on that side of the ball is going to be disgustingly good. I'm kind of amazed they spent that much though on that pick. Like to me, that's just kind of crazy. Cleveland definitely has their ammunition for a quarterback, but I don't know. I feel like Cleveland definitely they got what they wanted, which in this case is going to be, I would assume, a quarterback. I don't know if it would be at 5, but it'll probably be somewhere along those lines. I would laugh if it was somebody else. Shador Sanders, where are you at? You going at 5? Go at 5 so I don't have to worry about it any longer. Yeah, right. I saw that one conversation. I saw that one. There was one tweet that I just saw. They had said Travis Hunter had no communications with the Jaguars since the combine. I am not believing that. I'm not really believing that for a moment. But then again, what can you actually believe when it comes to Twitter? But yeah, this has been interesting so far. That trade to kick things off is wild. Now, I tell you what, looking back on that trade Chicago made a few years ago when they traded one spot, one, to draft Mitch Trubisky. Now that one was a failure. Now, time will tell if this one is a failure, but at least the Jags, I think they definitely may put themselves in a bad situation by giving up their next first round pick, because if he busts and they finish with another 3 or 4 win season and they would have had a top 5 pick, then if you're Cleveland, you're licking your chops. Especially, heaven forbid this doesn't actually happen, but if Cleveland actually finishes, you know, with a decent record, makes the playoffs for whatever odd reason, say even 10 wins, 6th or 7th seed in the AFC, even if they get first rounded, it doesn't matter. You made the playoffs, and if the Jaguars tanked again, you not only have your mid-round pick, but you also have a top pick. So that's kind of what you're hoping for as a Browns fan, I would imagine. You're just preying on the Jaguars' downfall. But I think now that we're here to the Giants, this would have to be Abdul Carter. Oh, would you look at that? That was an easy pick too. If the Jags wanted Travis Hunter that bad, which yes, they did, Abdul Carter right here makes sense. Keeps him away from New England too, which is great. Like, thank God. I'm glad I didn't have to witness that. Abdul Carter with the Patriots would have been disgusting. I don't want to see that. So now the Patriots are on the clock. This has to be O line. I mean, has to be. Their O line was in tatters last year. All right. I think it's actually more interesting that the Giants did the smart thing, but I think it's probably because Jacksonville beat them to the punch. If Travis Hunter had still been here, he would have probably been going to New York by now. I still 5, 36, 126, and next year's first rounder. I definitely think Jacksonville gave up a lot, like a lot more than I thought they would to move up there to get Travis Hunter. But they had wanted him for this long, and now they finally got him. So let's see. I just seen somewhere. I'm trying to see what they're going to do about his usage. There we go. So according to Adam Schefter, Jaguars are expected to play Travis Hunter on offense and defense. Of course, that's what he said. They will onboard him by giving him a heavy dose of the wide receiver position while still playing him in his more natural position on defense. So he will play both positions as we already knew he would. But now it's saying, according to Adam Schefter at least, that they're going to put him at wide receiver quite a fair bit, which I knew they would. They have a massive need at the position. I mean, yeah, you have Brian Thomas Jr., but the rest of them you can virtually sleep on, especially, well, yeah, that one guy with the number 0. Like, this one to me, the pick for the Patriots, like, you've got to go Will Campbell here, right? Will Campbell or just any offensive lineman because you've got to protect your young quarterback, especially in the AFC East. Buffalo will eat him alive. Shoot, even if the Dolphins actually got healthy on defense, they'd have a nice shot at it too. But that would require Jalen Phillips actually being healthy along with Bradley Chubb. Hopefully, they both will be. But either way, New England's got to up that O line game significantly, and it looks like they will. I would think they would. But it's amazing, really, that the Giants didn't overthink this. They had the golden opportunity in their hands and they took it. All right. Missed playoffs for the fourth time in last 5 seasons. Good. New England has 20 years of misery to get through before they're allowed to be anywhere close to competent again. That's just the rules. When the Chiefs eventually get bad, they're going to have to do the same thing for as long as they were good. It seems to be the rule of the football dynasty. The Steelers are already paying for theirs back in the 70s. To be fair, they were paying for dues that they should have made eons ago anyway, but now they want to pay for it. I have long been a guy that has said that the Steelers should have taken a quarterback before Ben Roethlisberger even retired. Like there was no reason for absolutely no reason for them to just wait Ben out until he retired and not have a plan behind him. Like they were going to think Ben was going to jump into the fountain of youth and play another 15, 20 years. Like that seems to have been like their thought process. They just had a legend in Pittsburgh and they didn't want to give him up, which they had every opportunity to get a good successor. I mean, there was a rumor that said Dak Prescott would have been traded to the Steelers for TJ Watt, which will not happen. But even then, the Steelers could have drafted Dak Prescott a long time ago and been somewhat set when Ben left. I mean, Dak's not good, but it would have been something unlike what they have now, which is nothing. Even though you could get me hyped for Mason Rudolph if you gave him a really good running back, another wide receiver, maybe round 1 or 2, like Matthew Golden, Luther Burden, or even if you found a way to trade up for Tetairoa McMillan, which that won't happen because he'll probably be gone by the time Carolina gets to the board, or I don't know, maybe Vegas. Somebody's going to go for Tet pretty high, I would believe. All right. All right. Patriots selection up on my screen right now. And there you have it. That seemed like a very easy choice. Will Campbell to the Patriots. That just made way too much sense. 6'5", 319-pound tackle. That's a big man. And that's one that's desperately needed. I just saw Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald tweet, no drop to Fids. There was no way that there's no way, and it's talking about what the Browns are going to do when it pops up, but there's no way he was going to fall any farther than where he did. To think that you'd have a guy that was projected already to go in the top 5 fall all the way to 13 is mind blowing. The Dolphins would have had to trade up, which knowing Cleveland, maybe they find a way to fleece another franchise. But then again, knowing Miami, they'll just take the guy with the most questionable injury history on the sheer basis that maybe he looks good. So this will be very interesting to see what they do later on. I'm looking forward to that because I want to see them make a huge mistake. But this fifth overall pick to Cleveland is very easy to make now. But the part that's just crazier to me is that you could have had Abdul Carter. Like you could have absolutely just had Abdul Carter, who was supposedly a lot better. So why would you? I mean, I know why they did it. Obviously, they want the quarterback of the future, whoever that may be, whenever that may be. But I think we're going to find out here in just a little while what they're going to do at 5. Which, if you're on Twitter, you probably already know. I'm trying to not look at Twitter. I don't want to be spoiled. But so far, I've gotten the Hunter pick right, and then Will Campbell. That was an easy choice. Most of the drafts so far, aside from that one, well, even the wild trade was easy enough to call. This one seems pretty cut and dry to me as well. Seems to me like this will indeed be Mason Graham because now you're at pick 5. If Jacksonville wanted him that bad, which they didn't, they really didn't want Graham at all. They would have just stayed right here and taken him. But I don't think that's going to be how this plays out. That's a beautiful sight. 3-14, exactly how I will always remember the Browns growing up. They were bottom feeder of the league. And I started watching football in 2007. All through the 2010s, that was all the Browns were, just the league's footstool. But then again, the league had a lot of footstools back then that aren't footstools anymore. The Bills, for one, were the essence of either mediocre or trash in the 2010s. The Jaguars were the same as they are now, never really that good except for like one random season where they get close but don't quite get anywhere. Let me think. The Titans have had their moments, in the sun and then being complete garbage. Just a few years ago, as we all know, they were the number one overall seed in the AFC, and now they're at the other number one, the number one that nobody really wants to be at. All right. And Mason Graham, that was obvious. Now that you're picking at 5, just makes way too much sense. All right. Mason Graham to the Browns was obvious. I think what we're going to see with the Raiders here, unless, big unless, the Bears happen to jump into this spot for Ginty, I think this would be the one right here, unless they were stupid and they decided quarterback, which I don't think they'll do. I think this would be the spot for Ashton Jeanty, unless somebody tries to jump them. But we're gonna find out. Like I said, I am trying to not look on Twitter. I don't like to be spoiled. So I'm making most of these predictions just off the top of my head from the mock drafts I've done and from everything else that I've looked at pertaining to where people could, where they could potentially go. So supposedly the Browns actually had the option to trade out at number 5 as well, which that would have been interesting. Imagine if they would have traded out of the second overall pick and then decided to trade out of the fifth overall pick. That might have been, who knows? That might have been Ginty, somebody wanting him badly enough. But there would have probably been a trade announced by now if Ginty had been, a target of another team badly enough that they wanted to trade for him. So he'll probably wind up going to the Raiders. Brock Bowers and Ashton Ginty. Interesting lineup. Very interesting lineup. It would actually, if you if you've watched Pete Carroll when he was the head coach at Seattle, with how he had Marshawn Lynch and how he used Marshawn Lynch in every place except the one time that it actually mattered, then G&T would make way too much sense. He'll probably get like 300 plus carries. Watch. I'm kidding. Obviously not that many in a season, but he'll get a lot. He will get a lot of carries, knowing how Pete Carroll is with his running backs. Well, then, there you have it. I had a feeling that was going to be it. Ashton Ginty. Now they've got 2/5 of a competent offense. They still really need a wide receiver. They could still use they could still use a quarterback, but now they have a running back and a tight end. A running back that is going to be ran into the ground under Pete Carroll. I hope for the best for him. I watched a few Boise State games where he played, just see what all the hype was. And I was like, man, this guy can run. I quite like watching him run. A running back going that high in the draft usually kind of shocks me. Last time we ever really saw it was Saquon Barkley when he went second overall to the Giants. But overall, of course, that may age horribly with a few years' time, but I don't know. Now we're off to the Jets. The Jets, where literally anything could happen. Oh, for goodness sakes. Uh, there are a surprisingly few amount of people at that Cleveland Browns draft party that they were hosting in the stadium. I am not surprised at all. All right. And now the Jets pick is officially in. I feel like this could be literally anything. And you know what? I would love to see them do something really, really dumb. That would be hilarious. We've all heard the Brees Hall rumors. We've heard this, that, and everything else. But of course, rumors are rumors. I don't want to think about rumors. Ah, so there's a tweet out from Henry McKenna. It just happened. I told you guys. If you've been watching us talk about it on the show, the were always all in on Travis Hunter. Henry just tweeted out Jaguars GM James Gladstone said the framework for this trade for number 2 overall and Travis Hunter has been in place since early April. We had a good idea the last couple weeks this was going to come to fruition from the man himself. So that's exactly what I was trying to say. We had heard about it, we knew it was coming, and it happened. And a little bit of breaking news. It's not necessarily a trade. I just had to see what this Adam Schefter notification was, and it turns out that after the Giants signed Abdul Carter, they picked up Kayvon Thibodeaux's fifth-year contract option. The Jets pick is in, and man, like I said, this one, why can't it be something dumb? That would just be amazing. Like, can we just have them do something dumb? Like, we need some stupid to fly out in this draft. We'll see what happens. If they're smart, I feel like you would absolutely get Justin Fields and O line. But This is the Jets we're talking about here. They aren't smart. Historically, they're not smart. So we'll find out exactly what the plan is. Here we go. They're picking. Wow. Okay. They didn't actually mess that up. They went with the best option they could possibly have. Armand Membo is going to be very, very solid. Give Justin Fields some help. All right. So Panthers, Saints, Bears, and then 40 whiners. I mean Niners. The Panthers picked awfully quick. They must have their guy. That's the fastest pick I think we've seen all night. Ah, so another one that another tweet that I just saw from Adam Schefter in the spare bit that I'm looking on Twitter just to kind of check updates and try not to get anything spoiled. Jets head coach Aaron Glenn had a 45-minute FaceTime call this week with Armand Membo that sealed New York's decision about who to draft in the first round. So there you have it. Seems like it makes a lot. Seems like that was what did it for him. And I mean, it's a safe pick, really safe. But now that we're off to Carolina, I feel like this one could go a few ways as well. I feel like anyone that wanted Tedero and McMillan beyond Carolina, your pursuit's probably over. I would think. I mean, they need a lot, but it's a little soon, in my opinion, to grab a guy like Kenneth Grant. I think it'd probably be, I don't know if it'd be a little too soon for Will Johnson. I feel like it might be just a little high. I think Javon Walker here would be fairly interesting, but I also think Tedero and McMillan, just to give Bryce Young his dude, would be solid. I think that would probably be my choice if I was the Panthers. Just get Tedero and McMillan right now. Then with your later picks, try to bolster his O line, bolster your defense a little bit as well. Just build around Bryce Young. Yeah, I think this has to be. This should be Tedero and McMillan. I would think so. All right. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not at all. That has to be the best option, I would think, for the Panthers. Get them, get them a weapon for Bryce Young. Now you've got a guy that's going to probably be the one right away. I mean, you draft a guy, a wide receiver that high, he's easily your one right away. So Bryce Young will be throwing to Tedero McMillan and Xavier Leggett. Interesting wide receiver room with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle as the two running backs. Interesting offense. I don't really know if it's going to do anything in the AFC or in the NFC South. Not right away, at least. But who knows? Panthers might be a sneaky team for Panthers might be a sneaky playoff team next year. Now, this is the pick coming up that worries me. Here come the Saints. If this is a quarterback, then all of Steelers Nation, all of Yinzer land is going to, well, not, I wouldn't say all of them. There's a good bit of them that don't want a quarterback in round one. I agree with that. I don't want them to pick a quarterback in round one either. I want them to pick a guy like Kenneth Grant or a guy like Malachi Starks or even a guy like Trey Amos or a guy like Matthew Golden. But I'm thinking right here, if this is going to be a quarterback, it would not shock me, and it would sink approximately half of Pittsburgh. They just jump into the Allegheny at this point, tie cinder blocks to their ankles so they couldn't get back up after watching Shador go to the Saints. But maybe they don't. We'll find out. If the Saints don't go quarterback, then the next quarterback needy team on this entire list would probably it would probably be Pittsburgh. So if Shador doesn't go to the Saints right here, then there is hope for the Yinzers that want him in Pittsburgh. So we'll see. I mean, they definitely don't have a good situation at quarterback. Derek Carr, who knows what's going to happen with him? So I'm interested. I'm holding my breath too. The only quarterback I would want to see the Steelers take would be Shador. Anybody else, and I would just be done. I could warm up to the idea of Jackson Dart overall, but Jalen Milrow would absolutely just I will face palm into the desk immediately, or my gear shift right here, or just even the steering wheel. I just face palm right away if it was Jalen Milrow. Jackson Dart, I'd be a little upset, but I could probably live with it. But Shador would be the guy for Pittsburgh at 21 if he was there and they wanted a quarterback. I still don't think that's what they should do though. But the Saints pick is it. Let's find out what they do. All right. The Saints pick is in and they are taking their time with this one. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. I think, like I said, this is the one that would have me sweating a lot if I already wasn't on Adderall, which already has me sweating. I'm just sweating even more. Here they come. Oh my God. Kelvin Banks, they went with an offensive lineman to protect who, I wonder? Will it be Derek Carr? Will it be somebody else? All right. Kelvin Banks, offensive lineman. I mean, safe pick for the Saints. You just wonder who? Who are you protecting? You're just going to basically try to run Alvin Kamara into the ground with over 500 something carries? Like, is that going to be your entire offensive identity? It could win games, but you got to be able to block for him. And now they got a guy that can do just that. The Bears have already submitted their pick as well. This is going to be what do you do now if you're the Bears? Like, you have needs on top of needs on top of needs, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. Like you got to give Caleb Williams some talent here, and they wanted Gene. Now that's not going to happen. You've just watched the Panthers take Tedero McMillan. Now what do you do? Do you give Caleb Williams another receiver? Do you go for a running back crazily enough, or do you just try to either protect him or I don't know. This pick seems like it could go quite a few ways. Ah, NFL schedule release Wednesday, May 14th. Then we will know if the Bills are traveling to Ireland to play the Steelers, like it had long been rumored. May 14th. Yeah, I'm really, really hoping that the Bills are going to play the Steelers, in Pittsburgh and not in Ireland. The Steelers are already going to Ireland. They pretty much already know that, which for the history perspective, it makes sense for the team, but it's still not something that I'm sure a lot of local Steelers fans, aside from the ones with those roots, really wanted. I'm sure a lot did, but there's probably a good bit that didn't as well. All right, Bears, what you got? What you got for us? 'Give it to us, Goodell.' 50th anniversary of the Walter Payton selection. That's amazing. 50 years, one of the legends of Chicago sports. Wow. Okay. Colston Loveland. Definitely an option that the Bears would have been good to go with, and they did. I like it. I like it a lot, actually, just to give Caleb Williams any kind of help. kind of interesting to think that Tyler Warren could have gone here instead. But the fact that it was Colston Loveland, I had a feeling that, there was probably a reason for that. Tyler Warren would have been the choice I know of a lot of people. I know Ben, if he were in, he probably would have said that. And I definitely think that, oh, apparently, according to Ari, Ben Johnson's tight end one was Loveland. So there you have it. All right. That was 10. Here we are to 11. 10 picks. 10 picks away. If Pittsburgh wanted to recreate it a few years ago when they traded up from 10, well, that opportunity is now if you wanted to move up another 10 spots for a guy. Last time they did that was for Devin Bush, and he was an absolute failure. But the guy before that, when they did it, was Troy Polamalu, and he's easily the greatest safety to ever play this game. Well, the Niners are indeed picking, so that means the Steelers will not be trading up 10 spots again, which, fine. Stay at 21 and they can get whoever they want. If they really want Shador, he's going to wind up right in their laps, which hopefully that's not what they do. It'd be the much better option to just go ahead, get Kenneth Grant at 21. Shoot, maybe you could even get Malachi Starks at 21. He'd be a really nice option. Safety isn't like a real big need for Pittsburgh, but it's a need. Minka Fitzpatrick did not have that good of a season last year. You need a guy that you could pair with him. And Malachi Starks would be that dude. So that would be a nice pick there. Kenneth Grant, though, would be my own choice. But I don't think that they would need to trade up too much to get a guy like him because you still got the Niners. They might want to take a defensive lineman. Dallas, I don't think they'd do it either. Miami, definitely not. I think the one area where I think Denver would be the team you'd have to worry about in Pittsburgh if you were worrying about them jumping you for a player, which you'd have to jump them for the player. But it's looking more and more like if the this would probably be the area right here where if you are a Yinzer, you're sweating it a little bit because if you want a defensive lineman round one, but in the case of the Bills, you're really just sitting back right now, which that's how I feel personally. None of the players that I would have wanted necessarily for the Bills are in danger of being gone yet. Once you get to 20, the chaos for them is gonna ramp up a bit. You still got a lot of really good players on the board right now. But once you get down to 21, 20, any or in that range, that's when they're going to fly off the board. So we'll see. But I think the Bills ought to think about, if they get around 20, 21, and they want Kenneth Grant badly enough, which I wish they would, that'd be your opportunity to trade up. Just don't spend too much like Jacksonville did. I think Jacksonville next year's first was a good idea because if they The gamble's just too great. Way too great. Oh, Lord have mercy. I completely didn't even think about the Bolts playing game 2 in the playoffs against the Panthers, and the Panthers, they won. Wow, the Panthers did. Bolts are down 2 nothing. Oh, oh, Mykal Williams. Makes sense. Now it's off to Dallas. You'd have to think this is gonna be Matthew Golden, which is gonna ruin one of Pittsburgh's plans. That's going to be a very interesting D line though. But now it's on to Dallas. Jerry Jones just sitting there looking smug already. Lord have mercy. This has to be a receiver. Like, come on, right? Right? You'd have to think this is a receiver. Like, come on. Dallas had been talking all that game about wanting Matthew Golden. So many people mocked Matthew Golden to Dallas. This has to be him. Wow. All right. Honestly, I didn't see that coming. I, I like it though. It's a it's not the sexy pick. Offensive linemen never are, but they're probably some of the most valuable picks you could make. Protect your quarterback. I just think it's interesting now because you want to give Dak Prescott a weapon that's not just CD Lamb and Jake Ferguson, but you instead went lineman. I mean, I honestly think it's a good idea in the long run if he pans out, which of course, he would pan out or would not, you never know. If he does pan out, it'll be a great selection, which if he does, then they're going to have Dak protected for as long as he wants to keep playing for Dallas. This Jordan Schultz tweet right here. A veteran scout on Tyler Booker, mean, rugged, and damn good. You know what? I'd say that's a good enough reason to want to draft a guy, especially an offensive lineman. Now we're on to Miami. How are they going to ruin it for themselves? Do it to him, Chris Greer. They need a lot of help on defense. You'd actually think that, you know, after losing Javon Holland, you'd think Malachi Starks actually would be a good idea for the Dolphins here, other than the other big need for them, which is literally an entire offensive line. Patrick Paul as left tackle is probably not going to give Tua confidence. You know, actually, looking at the Dallas pick, so that's the third guy named Tyler on their offensive line. That's actually hilarious. Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, and now Tyler Booker. They just need two more, and they'd have an entire offensive lineman. See, Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Booker. They just need another guard and a center named Tyler, and they'd have an entire offensive line of Tylers. That's hilarious. I don't know though. When it comes to the Dolphins, though, I would love to see them do something stupid. They had the 22nd ranked offense last year, and this is the first time they've missed the playoffs with under the nerd head coach. So it would not shock me if they decided that they wanted to go offense here. Watch them take Matthew Golden. But at the same time, they need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball as well. They basically have holes everywhere. Everywhere. The only real positions that they have that don't necessarily need that much reinforcement is running back, quarterback, and wide receiver to an extent. You got Hill and Waddle, and that's basically it. Receiver wouldn't be a bad choice for the Dolphins, but they really need help on the offensive line, like a lot of help. on the offensive line with Teron Armstead's retirement, and defensively, you lost Javon Holland. You've got to get a safety. You're trying to trade Jalen Ramsey. You could probably get a cornerback here too. Potentially Janae Barron, maybe. Is this where he goes? I'm not sure. Janae Barron seems just like either him or Malachi Starks. Just seems like they fit right here. But it's the Dolphins. They're known for literally anything and everything that isn't necessarily smart. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Announce the pick already. Come on, Goodell. We already know. Unbelievable. Absolutely oh my god. Kenneth Grant to the Dolphins. For real. Man, that brother was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. Hate this franchise. I hate that franchise. Oh boy. That I'm kind of speechless on that one. Kenneth Grant to the Dolphins. That is crazy. I didn't think he was going to fall. I didn't think he was going to go that high. I was really hoping he'd be there at 21. It means Will Johnson is starting to fall now, but man, I can't stand that. Both for the sake of the Steelers and the sake of the Bills. That would have been a great player to have on the defensive line, especially with Hayward getting older. You could have had Kenneth Grant and Mekhi Becton for a long time. All right. Who you gonna take, Colt? You gonna break my heart right here? Or are you gonna pick something that might actually benefit your franchise? Tyler Warren. All right. That's actually nice. I mean, Bears wanted Colston Loveland because Ben Johnson wanted Colston Loveland. So why not have them take Tyler Warren at this point? That's just still. I wouldn't have thought that Kenneth Grant was going to go that high. I would have absolutely thought that he was going to just fall far enough to where Pittsburgh wouldn't have had any worry about him. Shoot, maybe he even falls far enough for the Bills to get him, or for the Bills to trade up to get him. Yeah, I love the reactions I'm seeing from a lot of Bills Mafia on Twitter already. They're just not even concerned, and I don't blame you guys. I wouldn't be at all. Just because the Dolphins drafted Kenneth Grant is that's literally there. We must stop Josh Allen at all costs. Pick like I have no other reason to pick Kenneth Grant than to say we're coming after Josh Allen whenever we play them. You know, the two times a year we play him, we're going to come after him at all costs. So cool. They can do whatever they want, but they still have no O line and they still have no cornerback, especially if Jalen Ramsey does in fact get traded. And even if he doesn't get traded, he still didn't look that good at all last year. So I have a good feeling that it's not going to matter in the end. Yeah. The more and more I think about it, the more and more this is absolutely that pick that the Dolphins made just to spite the Bills. Like, there was no other reason to pick Kenneth Grant except to spite the Bills. They have way more pressing needs. Cornerback, offensive line, nope. They took Kenneth Grant, which granted, I mean, get it? It was a need, but not that much of a need. That would be like if the Bills took Malachi Starks if he fell to 30. Not a pressing need, but a need. And they got him literally out of spite. So I literally would not be moved. Hmm. You know, that is seeing a couple of tweets. With Will Johnson and Janae Barron still on the clock here at 15 with Atlanta, you'd have to think that if the Falcons want to go ahead and make the trade up, or the Falcons, if the Bills want to swing for the fences right now, like right now, then you trade up now or you trade up with the Cardinals. The up the phone basically immediately. So the Seahawks probably wouldn't hang up the phone either, and I don't think Tampa Bay would immediately hang up. Now, anybody else in the AFC for obvious reasons would. So if the Falcons make this pick, if you're the Bills, I would definitely consider this to be the trade up spot, like right now, or once Atlanta picks and you take Arizona, and Arizona is on the clock. Still plenty of good players left. And Atlanta has made the pick. All right, so that means now if you're the Bills and you want to make a massive swing to trade up to get a defensive lineman like Derek Harmon, buckle up. Better do it now. Or you want a guy like Janae Barron or Will Johnson, buckle up. Do it now. Remember last year when the Falcons, we all thought it was going to be Jared Verse and they took Michael Penix? They're not going to take Shador Sanders here, but man, would it be hilarious if they did. Actually, no. If it was anything like last year, it wouldn't be Shador because they took Michael Penix and he wasn't even close to the top. You'd think this would be for a guy like, oh man, what if that was Jalen Milrow or Jackson Dart or even, well, no, Will Howard will not be in this first round. No way. Not unless there's some random run at quarterback and like everybody with a question mark at the position took what? Like Seattle, because let's be honest, Sam Darnold had that one good season, but is he really going to do it again? I wouldn't think so. Seattle, Pittsburgh, literally anybody with a quarterback question. then maybe Will Howard might have a rare, like 1% chance to go in the first round, but that's not happening. Let's just see what Atlanta does. Oh, they actually did what they should have done last year. Jalen Walker, finally. Last year they should have taken Jared Verse, but this year they've got Jalen Walker. So they actually made the proper move. Fitting that the Georgia defensive end is staying in the city of Atlanta. It's always cool when that happens. I can only imagine how cool that must be for a prospect. You went to this college for however many years. You got used to the city, and if you really love the city, then look, Georgia's drafted 8 Georgia sent 8 defensive linemen and linebackers to the draft in the first round since 2022. From 22 to 25, 8 of them. That's crazy. Georgia's just been pumping out the defensive players to put in the draft. And incredibly enough, this one didn't go to the Eagles. Jalen Walker becomes the first player from the University of Georgia that the Falcons have taken in the first or second round since 1966. That is incredible. Well, now if you're Brandon Bean, get on them phones. Start trying to get up there if you keep seeing Will Johnson fall. Will Johnson or Janae Barron. I don't really think this would be a pick that would threaten. I don't know if they would do that. They might, though. The Cardinals could take Janae Barron right here, but I don't think they have the need. But are they going to go that route because it's Arizona? Who knows? They could easily just say, "We'll go Matthew Golden right here." So I don't know. I think this could. You know what? Maybe this is Matthew Golden. If this is Matthew Golden, then the big option for Pittsburgh is out the window, unless Shador was the guy all along, but nobody really knows in their sources either. Nobody has been inside the building to really say it. Historically, Matthew Golden would be the guy if he's at 21. But another very historical esque pick for Pittsburgh at 21, if he's still there, would be Nick Emenwari. But that's still a lot of time left before that happens. And Arizona's going to make this pick. All right. This ought to be interesting then. Figured Ben or Paul would have joined in by now. Well, I think Ben will join in once the Bills get on the clock. That live reaction will be something else. But I'm wondering who Arizona takes here. Matthew Golden, perhaps? Or is this Janae Barron? Walter Nolan. Really? 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 The skid stops. Man, all right. That would have been a nice Pittsburgh pick too. But there he goes. All these players are flying off the boards. If you want a guy at a premier position, one of the sexy picks as they call it, you got to start getting on them phones because now it's getting to be about that time when they're starting to go like crazy. Taking a look, the best two players available according to ESPN are both quarterbacks. Then you got Derek Harmon. After Derek Harmon, you fall all the way down to Darius Alexander in terms of defensive tackles. James Pierce Jr. is still on the board if you want an edge rusher, but right now you're running thin on a lot of very important positions. Man, you got to love it if you're Arizona. A guy like that just fell into your lap. A lot of people I had seen had Walter Nolan not even making it out of the top, making it in the top 10. And yet he goes where he did at pick 16. That's wild. When a player that good just falls into your lap like that, it's the best thing that could happen. Potentially franchise changing if he becomes one of the franchise tackles or a defensive tackles. But you got to give draft picks at least 2 to 3 years. Man, Cincinnati could easily. Okay, they're picking. Cincinnati probably knows they could screw over Pittsburgh again with this pick. If they took Derek Harmon right here, oh man, that would be the instant screw you Pittsburgh pick. I would know it. But I think Matthew Golden too for the same thing. I mean, consider that Cincinnati essentially has no idea what a defense is with how they've tied all their money into Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And well, yeah, I'm starting to think that watch them wind up taking Matthew Golden just because. Hey, another wide receiver. Let's do it, guys. What is a defense? We don't know what that means. All right. Do it to us, Cincy. That's an amazing route for a franchise. They lost a Super Bowl, lost the AFC Championship game the very next year, and then for the next 2 years, they didn't even make the playoffs. That's hilarious. Those 2 years, the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game, yeah, see, now that's the Cincinnati that nobody knows. Those 2 years were flukes. I'm telling you right now, those 2 years were flukes. Cincinnati had made a Super Bowl in the past before that one, but they still lost to the Niners. In 21, they lost to the Rams, but yet again, still can't make the playoffs because their defense is non-existent. The ultimate Bengals pick right here would absolutely, and I do mean absolutely, be an offensive player because you just know that's exactly what they do. They got a whole friggin' oh wait, I was like, do they have a whole band up there allowed for the Cincinnati pick? Oh my god, Shamar Stewart, unbelievable. But but that makes me now wonder. They took Shamar Stewart with Trey Hendrickson's ongoing issues with his contract. That now makes me wonder what they're gonna do about him. But now that the Cincinnati Bengals have already picked, Bills are in a trade up range now. If they wanna do something, now's the time to do it. You got guys like Will Johnson, Janae Barron, Derek Harmon still on the board. I'm telling you, if they move for freaking Derek Harmon, if the Bills do, I'm just gonna be sitting there. That would be great for the Bills, but God bless. Yeah, Shamar Stewart, man. Defensive tackle is definitely well, Shamar Stewart's an edge, but now with all these picks coming up, if you want a defensive tackle and you really want one, better get moving. Try to make the you got Denver ahead of you who would definitely jump you for who would definitely probably take Harmon right from under your nose. But who knows if that's really what they're going to do. Denver could do a lot more than just Derek Harmon. Ah, hearing now that the Seahawks are open to moving back and so are the Buccaneers. You wonder if now a trade's going to happen. Somebody wants to come up for something. Like I'm telling you, get on the phone, Pete. Get on the phone. Get that guy. Get your cornerback. Get Derek Harmon right now. amazing that Janae Barron's still on the board. I would not have expected this. I had seen posts earlier today saying he was starting to fall a little bit, and that the Bills might have considered a trade up for him, but I did not think he was going to fall this far. This is kind of crazy. Let's make that move, Bills. See if we get that trade up going. It's good. It would take a little bit more than I feel like you're in the range right now, but I don't really know. I don't know what it would cost. That's why I'm obviously not a GM. Well, Seattle is picking. All right, Seattle. What do you got for us? Great. Gray Zabel. Okay. They actually went offensive lineman. Where's Caden at? He's probably very happy right now. They had the option to trade down. I'm amazed that Seattle actually did this. Interesting. Now you're definitely in that trade up range for the Bills. This tweet from a Joe over here. 20 is an interesting potential trade up spot for the Bills. They would have to give up 56, of course, but potentially they'd get a 4th rounder back in the deal. I would love it personally if they traded with Denver. If the Bills traded up with Denver to get Jahdae Barrett. That would be amazing. And Tampa Bay is picking. No trade down for them either. Well, them making this pick makes you wonder now. I mean, yeah, of course they had their guy, but they probably didn't have any offers that they liked if they wanted to trade down. But now you wonder. You wonder if the O line run keeps happening now because you just had another one go. The Buccaneers could definitely. It would be a safe pick for Tampa Bay. They don't necessarily need it. They've got other needs that are a little more pressing on defense, which seems like that's a lot of teams this high up in the pecking order, really. But I don't know. Seems to me like if they wanted a safe pick, they would just take an offensive lineman here and keep the run going. But I'm not sure. Once you get to 20, though, I'm going to start sweating because that's where I would think Derek Harmon would probably land, considering the Dolphins took Kenneth Grant. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Dion out here tweeting. Okay, well, they were showing it on NFL Network. Must have been a tweet from yesterday. Good Lord. That's incredible. Well, now Denver's on the clock, and this is where I officially really get nervous. This is where I could see Derek Harmon falling right into their laps. It makes you wish Kenneth Grant would have still been on the board because I would like the idea of Derek Harmon for both. I like them for the Steelers. I like him a lot for the Steelers. But that's just the thing. You know, is he going to go here? Because Denver has a clear need at the position. If he does not go here, oh, have mercy. Then he would fall right into Pittsburgh's lap. That's still a crazy pick, though. That wide receiver room for the Buccaneers, that is stacked. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and now you're adding Emeka Egbuka. Nuts. But now, Denver, come on. You know you want to take a guy like Matthew Golden or a running back right here. Come on. You want to help Bo Nix. Don't take Derek Harmon. Don't take Derek Harmon. For the love of God, don't take Derek Harmon. I am going to be very scared. Very scared. Still just waiting on Bean to make that phone call, though. Apparently, the Giants are trying to get back in round one. If the Giants are trying to get back in round one, then the Bills need to make a little bit of effort there to get back. Telling you right now, though, I still would say the biggest need, obviously both defensive tackle and cornerback are big needs for the Bills. But Lord have mercy. If one of them, like one of them goes anywhere at 20 to 21, which 21 will not be a cornerback at this point. I wouldn't see it unless they really wanted a guy to pair with Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. They are not going to take they're not going to take cornerback at 21. No way. Not Pittsburgh. Now, I don't think Denver will either. I think that Denver will most likely wind up hopefully taking Matthew Golden right here or a running back. A running back would be nice. Take one of them. They're taking their time though. Makes you wonder if the Giants are trying to jump the Steelers for a guy like Shador Sanders. You think they get Abdul Carter and then trade back up ahead of Denver or up ahead of Pittsburgh to get Shador? I doubt it. They're still making that pick though. They're really winding the clock down. Definitely makes you think. Makes me wonder because they're down to a minute left to make this pick. Either they're doing that on purpose or they are really thinking about listening to they've got somebody on the phone. You wonder who it is. Man, if it was the Bills, that would be amazing. Jump up there, grab Janae Barron, Will Johnson, or Derek Harmon. Now, if the Bills got Derek Harmon, I wouldn't be too mad about that because, of course, he'd be put to good use with the Bills. Bills have a huge need at defensive tackle. Denver is making this pick. All right. Denver's making this pick. Steelers are on the clock. The Yinzer is ready. But first, let's see what Denver does. Come on, take Matthew Golden or take somebody on offense, Denver. Do it. Do it. Take an offensive player. You know you want to do it. Don't take Take Matthew Golden. Mostly just so Paul will never be able to talk about taking Matthew Golden for the Bills in round 1. That's the last thing the Bills need is a receiver in round 1. So many people think that, "Nah, we need what?" No. No, you do not. Get a receiver in in the 3rd round. People are also saying Jackson Dart is a favorite in New York. Go for it, Giants. Try to trade up with somebody to get Jackson Dart. Because I'll tell you, if you want a quarterback, you are not jumping ahead of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not trading down with you. All right, here we go. Come on, Denver. Please do not take, don't take Derek Harmon right here. Oh, have mercy. They got a guy that's going to announce the pick for Denver. Okay. Oh, Lord. That means we really got to sit here and wait. Oh, man, I'm going to be sweating. I already am sweating, but that's irrelevant. All right, Samuel, who is it? Jahdae Barron. Well, there went all the hopes of a lot of Bills fans right there. Wow. Jahdae Barron to Denver. That that's amazing he fell all the way to 20, in my opinion. I did not think he'd fall that far. All right. Well, the Yinzers are on the clock. I will be right back. I have returned in the attire of the Yinzer. I am ready. Well, here we go. If this is Shador, it's going to happen right here if it's Shador. It's going to happen right here if it's Shador. And I am seeing Derek Harmon on the board right now. Do the right thing, Steelers. Don't take Shador. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'd have to talk me into you would have to actually talk me into Shador. I would oh, and we're picking. Oh man. Come on. Give me Derek Harmon. Give me Derek Harmon right now. Don't give me Shador. Give me Derek Harmon. Give me Derek Harmon. Come on. Don't ruin this Pittsburgh. He is still on the board. You get Derek Harmon. You've got a guy that can anchor that defensive line when Hayward eventually retires. You've got a guy that is going to be incredible. Now, medical history aside, this guy would be you can do right now. Don't take Shador. Let somebody else deal with that. I could actually talk myself into Mason Rudolph. Thank God we're picking. Come on. Derek Harmon. Derek Harmon. Derek Harmon. Get me Derek Harmon. Come on. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Welcome to Pittsburgh, buddy. I hope you enjoy Permani Bros. Oh my god. Derek Harmon alongside Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, and freaking Mekhi Becton with Joey Porter Jr. and Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh my god. My god. I was so scared they were going to take Shador. I did not want a quarterback right here, and thank God. Best pick we could have possibly made right there. Best pick the Yinzers could have made. Oh man. Like a freaking pressure valve just got released off of my chest right there. Derek Harmon. Managed to screw this up. Thank you, Omar Khan. Holy sh! Shador is still on the board. That's crazy. All right. Un momento again while it's on the commercial break. I'll be right back. All right, back in Bills mode. The Yinzer has been put away again. Now, can the Bills actually do something about getting a cornerback now? Or because defensive tackle is long gone. Oh Lord. I think now the I think now all the picks are just gonna get wild. The Giants are probably still trying to trade back up for a quarterback. You wonder if Jackson Dart actually does get drafted before Shador. Ooh. So according to what has been said, the Dolphins got 3 texts from teams right behind them that Kenneth Grant was their guy. So yeah, I would assume the Bengals and or Broncos. Actually Henry McKenna straight up says Dolphins think the Bengals and Broncos wanted Kenneth Grant. Oh, and of course, the Steelers' main account tweeted that we got ourselves a duck. No, don't ever say that again. Not after Duck Hodges. Do not do that. All right. Lordy. Chargers are taking their time to make this pick. You wonder if they're actively really looking at a trade down right here. Okay. Chargers are making this pick. Best player on the board, according to Daniel Jeremiah, is still Jihad Campbell. Omari and Hampton still on the board. Matthew Golden, Nick Imanwari, Will Johnson, amazingly enough, and then another amazingly enough is Shador. Thank God Shador's not with Pittsburgh. You wonder. Actually, I also wonder. Yeah, needs according at least to ESPN, wide receiver, tight end, defensive tackle. Good luck with that. They're all gone now. Guard and then running back. All right, Chargers, surprise us. Amari and Hampton. All right, I'd say they surprised. Pro comparison being Jonathan Taylor, at least on NFL Network. Yeah, I'd say that's a good reason to take a guy. But here comes the Packers now. Get on that phone, Brandon Bean. Get on that phone. We are running out of time and out of chances. So they're going to pair Omari and Hampton with Najee Harris over in LA for the Chargers. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, Packers on the clock. Bills, if you like a guy badly enough, you got to get moving on that phone. So apparently Cam Hayward himself was vouching for the Steelers to take Derek Harmon. And surely enough, they did. The Packers haven't selected a skill position in the first round in quite a while. You'd think this would have to be when they did it. They haven't picked a wide receiver in the first round since 2002 when they picked Javon Walker. Shoot, that 2006 was the last time the Steelers did it, and that was the legend himself, Santonio Holmes. Oh lordy. The Packers 8-11 in the playoffs after winning that Super Bowl in 2010. Good. Absolutely good. I love it. It's beautiful. Oh my. So Michigan cornerback Will Johnson has a knee issue that has concerned some NFL teams and helps explain why he still hasn't been selected. Yeah, that's a good point. That's that's why he's sliding. Absolutely is. If the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh wouldn't take him, then I would say it's serious. He might not be even a first round cornerback at this point. If that injury is that serious, you don't take him. You can't. Well then, all right. Green Bay making the pick. Oh, apparently. Eagles discussed moving up with the Packers, but it did not happen. Thank God it didn't. That would have been disgusting. The Eagles don't need to be picking that high again. Stacked freaking team. Packers selection. Here we go. What have we got? What are the cheeseheads going to do here? That look on his face. He's ready to make the pick to shock everyone, isn't he? The monologuing. The monologuing is wild. Can you just make the pick? Matthew Golden. There he goes. Well, thank goodness. I did not want the Bills taking a receiver in round 1, and their best option for it is gone. Amazing that the streak ends for the Packers with Matthew Golden. All right, Minnesota, you are next. Yep. According to Ian Rappaport, Howie Roseman's working the phone, still trying to trade up. It's funny you hear all this from Howie Roseman blowing up the phone. Brandon Bead, where are you at? You start blowing up the phone too now, buddy. Get us a stud. Best available other than Will Johnson because that injury, according to what everyone's saying, that injury of his is going to be has to be pretty serious if he's still falling this far and the Chargers of all teams didn't take him. Okay, and Minnesota is making that pick. All right. Minnesota making this pick. Oh boy. Oh boy. The Rams are trading it. The Rams are trading. The Rams are trading their pick to the Giants. All right. There goes Shador. Meanwhile, the Vikings took Donovan Jackson, but that whole deal has gone under the radar because apparently the Giants are trying to trade with the Rams. This has to be Shador. The Giants are indeed trading up. Watch this be Jackson Dart. That would be hilarious. Okay, so the according to Adam Schefter, Giants get the 25th overall pick. Texans get 34, 99, and a 2026 third to move up. Okay, this is interesting. Oh man. You'd think this had to be Shador or has to be Shador. If this is Jackson Dart, that will be hilarious. That will be the best thing ever. I want to see some hilarity here. Do not let me down, New York. Technically, New Jersey. Don't let me down. Do something ridiculous. Oh, man. Do it, Giants. Take the guy that I'm so glad the Steelers did not take. Do it. Please do it. Jackson Dart would just be Jackson Dart would be the most hilarious thing right now. Giving up a second, a third, and a 2026 third for potentially Jackson Dart. Oh man, that would just be the best. Come on, New York, do it. I want to see it. Do it. They got Shador in the actual video. They got Shador on TV though. You'd think it would have to be Shador. Like the Steelers didn't take him, and that's who everybody thought was going to take Shador was Pittsburgh. But now all of a sudden, look at this. They didn't take him. They played it smart. Part of me wonders if they played it smart because they're wondering about Aaron Rodgers. I hope not. I would rather draft Will Howard in the 4th round or 3rd round. But Lord have mercy. If they're really, if they did it because of Rodgers, that would make me sick. But this would have to be, back to the Giants point, this would have to be Shador right here. I would cackle if it's Dart. Welcome to the Berg, Derek Harmon. Wait, we got another trade. The Falcons are moving into the Rams spot. The Rams don't care about picks. The pick is in. Come on, Goodell, do it. Do it. Please. Please do it. Please just say Jackson Dart right here. Ain't no way, bro. Oh my God. No way. No way, bro. Unbelievable. Jackson Dart. That is wild. Why? I guess it's because Ole Miss. Unbelievable. Well, now Atlanta's on the clock. Oh, would you look at this?
I was gonna say, you know that one gif of that one guy outside the fence was like, "Let me in." Oh
Yeah. Well,
well,
oh
my quarterback picks, I got one of them right.
Which
and
one?
Because or I got the easiest one right.
Okay, yeah, Cam Ward doesn't count.
That was I regrettably said Dart would go to the Saints, but now I guess I'll change. Sanders could go to the Browns possibly, unless Pittsburgh doesn't have a second round pick, so they would need to trade Pickens if they did want to get Sanders.
No. I think their vision is gone on Shedeur.
Yeah.
I think they have another idea.
All right. Well, let's get to that later. Let's just quickly, because I know Paul's not going to be happy, but
Matthew Golden being gone.
Won. I know. I was kind of getting nervous because it's getting closer to the Bills now. Wait, did the Falcons trade back into the first?
They did.
Is that what happened?
They did.
Oh, they really mentioned Josh Allen when talking about Jackson Dart. Oh man,
they did.
On ESPN. He sees traits in Dart he saw in Josh Allen. You know, anytime a quarterback is compared to Josh Allen, that never ends well for that team. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson.
The Falcons received the Rams next year first round pick to make this trade. They literally gave up next year's first round for this.
You mean the Falcons gave up their first round pick?
Yep.
Wow. Do you know who they picked? I haven't seen yet.
No, I'm not looking on Twitter. I don't.
Yeah, because I was at the bar watching it, and I saw a couple picks. So I saw I think I saw Loveland and Williams.
That was interesting.
It was. I mean, quickly as we get to the Bills pick, I'd say so far outside of Miami taking Kenneth Grant, which some people said was a reach. It could have been. I mean, this wasn't a strong draft class either, but I hate to give Miami credit, but
yeah,
Miami made a great pick there. I'm not going to lie. They did.
That sucked.
And to go with
Falcons just took James Pierce Jr.
Okay, you beat me to that. So they went 2 edges in the first round. So you're slightly ahead of me. So wait for the Bills pick so I hear it.
Oh, yeah. No, I will.
All right.
I absolutely will. Yeah, Jalen Walker at linebacker and then James Pierce Jr.
Well, Jalen Walker's more of an edge too. So that
yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. They needed pass rush badly. That's another guy some Bills fans kind of wanted was Pierce. Trust me, I was happy Shamar Stewart went off. I wouldn't have minded Mykel Williams. Did not think he would go as high as 11.
Yeah.
Which I think he went. But I think the board so far has been pretty favorable to the Bills outside of I honestly thought Jahdae Barron would go around where he went. I did not envision Denver going for him.
Neither did I.
I thought Denver was I thought Denver was a lock to go weapon. I thought they would either take Hampton, and I thought they could possibly take Golden as well.
Oh, Ben, if you go back and watch the rerun of the stream when you get to Denver, you will literally see me just sitting there stone faced. I was literally just so scared that they were going to take Derek Harmon. They need edge help or a defensive tackle help in a bad way. And I was like, man,
I'd say yes and no. But they have a good defensive line. I don't think they needed it that badly because they still have I can't think of his name now.
Yeah, see, I could have used this kind of motivation earlier when they were picking, so I wouldn't have been absolutely horrified out of my skin.
I'll say this. Harmon was another good fit for Buffalo, though. So, that wasn't a great thing for the Bills, but,
not to lose
defensive tackles, Nolan I was fine with going because he's more of a 3-tech. I don't think the Bills should have reached out. They wouldn't have reached on him, but I don't think he would have given them much of a difference of what they're already getting in Ed Oliver.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought if it wasn't going to be Derek Harmon or anyone else, it's got to be cornerback.
Yeah, I think corner, or edge possibly. I've been saying this, I hate to say it, but like a lot of the day I've been gut feeling, I don't know, maybe it's because of our talk with Dean. I would not be shocked if we get Landon Jackson. I hope not, but
I hope not as well.
Okay, so Zach Allen, DJ Jones, those are solid guys.
Oh, yeah,
on
definitely.
The defensive tier. There's still guys in the second round. So even if the Bills don't go corner here, I
I just feel like they should.
see ball.
Ben, your internet's having a day again.
More going corner. Honestly, maybe even Simmons because they kind of need O-line help. Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you are now. You were kind of out of there for a little while. Your internet was doing its thing again. Good Lord. Draft night now, Ben's internet is apparently very disappointed at not having Derek Harmon or any defensive tackle for the Bills. Lord have mercy. That's kind of funny. He'll be back in a moment.
Yes.
See? Yeah. Okay, your internet was having itself a little fun time there.
I figured. As I was saying, though, like I could actually see maybe Mike Green going to Baltimore because they need help on the defensive line too.
Oh yeah.
I don't see corner. I mean, I know they lost Stevens to the Jets, but they just took Wiggins last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some people say Emenwari. I mean, that would be a nasty safety tandem with Kyle Hamilton.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, right.
I don't. Now, I would have been very, very thrilled with Emenwari at 21 if it hadn't have been Harmon. He would have been
over Starks even.
I've heard no. I say this because
I could see Baltimore going Starks as well, though. I could see.
Oh
them
yeah, no, I agree.
Starks.
They could use a
I
safety.
think it's between Starks, Simmons, and possibly even Warriors a wild card. But I think it's Starks, Simmons, and Green. Man, watch the Bills take Mike Green, but that is not a Bills pick at all, and he's not a good scheme fit. I don't know. We're getting there. I mean, Detroit, we're in 4 picks. It is still possible we trade back. Watch, we do this whole thing again to trade back.
That would be interesting. Like, imagine you just sit here and wait all night, especially for the Make-A-Wish kid that's going to, be announcing the pick for the Bills. Now he's not going to get to until night 2. Lord have mercy. But no, Nick Emenwari historically would have been a Steelers pick under Kevin Colbert. He just has that pick for the Steelers that they used to really have a thing for. Now, no way. But historically speaking, Emenwari could have been that guy.
We got to get Paul in here.
I know.
He's betraying his own. Yeah,
he's
his own podcast. I kind of got tongue tied there, but come on.
Yeah, shame on you, Paul. Why would you do this to us? We're literally just out here trying to hope that Baltimore makes a dumb choice here with a very horrible pick.
I could also see Washington going Johnson too, though. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would want to let another team handle whatever that injury is that Will Johnson.
I don't know though. I think he's such a special talent at the corner position. Like I think you take that risk because he's like a blue chip talent at corner.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, we do have Trey White back there too, so we do kind of have some insurance, even if he's not fully healthy this year. I mean, here's the thing: with Siobhan Ravel, he's coming off a knee injury too, so he doesn't even have the cleanest medicals either.
That is true. All right, let's see it.
All right, hold on. Let me see it.
I'm not going to say nothing until they make it. In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select. Oh, you got to be kidding me!
I told you, did I not? Did I not call that? I called it. Oh my gosh, that's a great pick. It is disgusting, honestly.
I hate it. I actually hate that pick. And I mean, I hate it because that's really a good one for the Ravens.
Yeah, it is. I said that would be a good guy to pair with Kyle Hamilton.
God, I hate that. I hate it. I hate every single ounce of that pick. That's so good. Man.
Because I don't think there's really. Can you go to the board real quick?
Yeah, hang on. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the board.
Can
right
you go
now.
to D tackle? Does it let you sort by position?
Yeah.
Who's the number 1 D tackle now?
Right now, Darius Alexander.
I think it is a little early to take Alexander.
It is.
And same with Williams. So yeah, I mean, what about edge? Is it Donovan Ezekuru or whatever his name is? Or Devon,
no,
however
Mike
Paul
Green's
says it.
still on the board.
And then it's Ezekuru.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Ezekuru. I could also see Detroit going Ezekuru though.
Potentially.
They kind of need pass rush help too.
Unless this is Mike Green. I don't know though. I see Maxwell Hairston still on the board too. What if I know it won't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. The Bills take Jihad Campbell at 30. Lord, I would want to rage.
There's a lot of pattern reading where you process quickly, get quick pattern. You're not kind of isolated one-on-one, but he's a solid, steady player. That's a nice fit, Melvin Kyle Hamilton. Real nice fit. That's both these safeties drop down this far. Of course, offensive guards.
Will Johnson, me please give me Bill Johnson. The Lions, Johnson. I will say the Lions are almost guaranteed not to take a corner though. Well, no, they did sign DJ Reed. Yeah, they got DJ Reed. They drafted Terrion Armstead and Ennis Rakestraw with their first 2 picks last year. Like, I don't see Detroit, but Washington, they could take a corner. Like,
maybe. I mean, I think that
Washington though could go edge too.
Yeah, they could go both ways. I feel like corner would be a really nice pick for Washington. I also think that they could use a lot more than just corner. But the Lions, though, we won't have to worry right now. Yeah, even according to ESPN, defensive tackle, edge, guard, receiver, center. So I don't really think they're going to go corner here. Washington would go corner.
Malachi, I can feel the energy vibrating off of you. That was quite the hug with Commissioner Goodell. How do you describe what's going through you right now?
I'm ready to go. I've been waiting too long. I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
This Ravens defense was a force down this stretch last season. What will you bring to that secondary?
I got energy. I move around. I play at a high level coming from a university like Georgia. I'm just ready to go play ball.
What do you think about playing with a guy like Kyle Hamilton?
It's my dream.
Great. Congratulations, Malachi.
Thank you.
Guys.
Everything you just said was illustrated by his behavior in every conceivable way. That was one fired up young man. As the crowd is now starting to boo the Lions, it's been a while since we've seen the other divisional teams in here. They booed the Bears.
That's
quite
still
loudly.
crazy, though. Freaking Malachi Stark.
The Lions loudly as well. The Lions, obviously, a terrific season last year, a terrific team. The best in the NFC, just decimated by injury on the defensive side to the point where they almost didn't have a chance by the time they got to the
Ben, you know what they're going to do with Malachi Starks now? This whole deal, they're going to use Malachi Starks to just further Lamar Jackson being MVP somehow.
Yeah.
He can play like a stud, and they'll go, oh, Lamar MVP. Wait, what's that got to do with Lamar? Nothing. Lamar MVP.
This is a playoff team that wants to compete for a Super Bowl. You have to fill in the holes, the gap that you have. You talk about them being decimated on defense. They have to accumulate the depth, especially at the edge position. Yeah, they got to hit somebody who's off the edge. They need to start establishing some depth by getting some more players. I mean, they need some depth.
Yeah, Rams and Browns now have first-round picks next year.
Wow.
You expect it to be a defensive pick simply because of the fact
what do you think of that trade, by the way, Ben? Browns and the Jags, that trade that
the Browns did amazing in that trade. I mean, I still kind of 50-50 on Mason Graham, but you pair him with Myles Garrett, he's gonna eat just because of all the double teams that Garrett's gonna command.
What did I tell you for months about Travis Hunter and the Jaguars?
Yeah, but you know how I feel about Hunter. He's gonna realistically only be able to
I
play
agree.
majority on one side of the ball. Now, where does
Oh, no,
Jacksonville play him for the majority? I mean, they need receiver help too, though. So I mean, they kind of have to play him at receiver too.
I can tell you
but
what
they
they're going to do.
They're gonna play him on both.
They're going to play him a lot at wide receiver and a little less at quarter. And Tyleik Williams.
Wow, you just spoiled that. But
whoops, I forgot your.
I got it a split second later. Okay,
Tyleik Williams to Detroit.
That's a good pick for them.
That's solid.
Yeah, I mean, that's another guy the Bills could have taken.
Yeah, I didn't even think about him until just now. Man, that is a solid pick for Detroit. And
I got an opportunity to train him and take him on the field in Tampa. He's got elite movement for a guy that's 330 pounds. The ability to change direction. You talk about him playing the run. He plays the run fiercely at Ohio State. His ability to flip his hips and get upfield. He's got the versatility to play the three technique position. He can play the one or the three. I think if he slims down a little bit, he could be the quintessential three technique.
No doubt. I know I'm sitting here looking at my notes. He primarily aligned as the three tech, and the second thing I put was excellent flex, body control, and balance and center of gravity, fluidness of movement for someone with that body that's so thick and so sturdy.
So thick.
Double teams doesn't get turned, doesn't get its own turn.
But I remember I had told y'all for months that Jacksonville was obsessed with Travis Hunter, and you know what they're going to do? What they're going to do is they're going to use him primarily at wide receiver, and once they get down to garbage time, they're going to switch him over to quarterback. They're going to probably keep that up for a good majority of the season, according to God, his name just slipped my mind, the GM. Or no, not the GM, the coach. I don't know why his name just slipped my mind, but that's what they've already confirmed. Liam Cohen.
We got here.
I don't know if you're
fifth
on any of
player on the
that.
board.
Experience the industry's
Pool Noodle, join us.
Yeah, for real.
Digital controls. The Spring Trooper's so smart, it loads the ride with the push of a button. And our most powerful blower.
Start yelling at him. Oh.
Is there some type of inside joke about Pool Noodle, or do you just say that?
That was from the bigger Bills group chat with Jenna, Danny, Ryan, and all of them.
Okay, because I know you say it a lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's like Paul's secret nickname.
It is. It's kind of a secret nickname because originally they started calling him Pual because Jenna kept misspelling it when she typed. So we started calling him Pual, and then I invited my friend Nick, who's a Rams fan, into that chat for a while, and then he started calling him Pool Noodle when he saw that. So then everybody started calling him Pool Noodle.
Don't sweat it. Get our best deals on smartphones like iPhone 16 Pro.
But man,
that's the 18.
Derek Harmon, I am so happy, man. You know how scared I was they were going to take Shedeur at 21?
I wanted Harmon too, not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, he would have been great for the Bills, but getting Harmon in Pittsburgh, because Hayward is not going to be there for much longer. He is old. He will be there for maybe a year or two more tops. I think Hayward really wants one more ride and one more shot at a Super Bowl with Pittsburgh before he retires. And to that, I would tell him, good luck, buddy. We got a ways to go. You want to throw Ben into a fountain of youth or something so we have a quarterback?
Could you just tell me I want this to be over?
With new medallion McDonald's, you'll get more than you expect.
Oh, there he is. Finally.
Wow, Pool Noodle finally decided to show up. Really?
Wait, where are you even
He
at?
must
Paul?
be on his phone because it's
that in your living
that
room?
works.
Lord have mercy. Paul, what do you think about what are you thinking about the situation so far?
Oh, don't ask him.
Man, I feel like it's going to be
A corner. It has to be a corner.
It has to be.
Well,
Unless they surprisingly take like Mike Green or Luther Burden, it has to be Trey Amos.
No, it will be. If it's not a corner, it's gonna be Landon Jackson.
Oh,
I've been
Lord.
saying it all day. Trust me. Like, don't shoot the messenger.
I don't
would
want
rather
Landon
not.
Jackson. He's not a first-round grade for me.
He's
Yeah,
not a
but
first-round grade for a lot of people. I
Greg
think that were
Rousseau
doing
was
Bills
kind of in a
grades. I
similar
would not
spot.
want to
Just
be there.
saying. I mean, I know he had more production in college, but what does Washington do? What do you? I could see Washington taking Burden. I haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I
no
could
spoilers either, Paul.
see
You're
it.
ahead of us. They do need receiver. I mean, it would be nice to have somebody like Luther Burden to pair with Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel, but they desperately need that help at edge. They need help at safety, cornerback, all those various positions. This
Don't
has. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
don't
say
spoil it.
that- yeah,
I think I'm behind you guys.
You're behind me, I know, but like by a second.
It's kind of interesting that I'll say this too. They did add Debo, and a lot of people said that Burden is basically like almost Debo Samuel 2.0. Like that's
Wow.
just pro comp. So if they did go Burden, they would kind of have like two Debos on the team.
Loved him in Pittsburgh too.
Mike
Him
Green.
with DK and Pickens. Good lord. But Paul, I'm still happy about Derek Harmon. I know you probably thought he would have been a good round 1 pick, so did I, but I'm so happy, man.
Mike
Yeah,
Green. I hate to say
Your internet apparently hates me to say it too.
this because I know he's a talented player, but he just screams Kansas City Chief.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Fear has
Put that in the universe.
The Washington Commanders select Josh Conerly.
Are you for real?
Oregon.
That's not bad though, because they have
that's a
him
good
opposite
pick.
Tunsil.
That's a
Protect
good
your
pick.
quarterback.
That's a good
Real
pick.
quickly, as it looks
we
like
go.
the Bills will make their pick. So
Don't say it
hold
yet.
on. No,
Don't say
no.
it yet.
I'm not on Twitter, but you know what I'm about to do. That's
It's
There
game
you
on
go.
now.
Azare Thomas.
Please.
There's a new deal at Tim
Could you
Hortons.
imagine if it
Get a
happened
$3
again?
breakfast sandwich when you
We
buy
got
any size
Keon
hot or iced coffee.
last year, and then
Freshly
all of a
wrapped.
sudden this year, February.
So now it looks like the Bills are on the clock. Let's see what they do. Yeah, I mean,
What's
Will
out?
Johnson is still here. The thing is, I'm scared of is not taking Johnson, and he goes to Kansas City.
And
So
then
I
goes
probably
off.
would. I
Mhm.
probably would take a risk here and go Johnson. Otherwise, I do like Donovan Ezekruku. Before my interneted. That's not even a word.
Your
Before my
interneted.
no, I was gonna. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you for helping me out. But before my
welcome.
internet decided to internet it again, like I was about to say, Mike Green just screams Chief because of his character concerns. Number one, and they love. One thing that Brett Veach does is he loves taking edges in the first round. Just think about it, George Karlaftis. I can't even pronounce his name, but the guy they took from Kansas State a couple years ago. You know who I'm talking about?
I think so. All right,
Bill?
Bill, do not trade this pick. Do not do
I
it.
don't. I think they would have already.
Yeah, do not do it.
Yeah, Felix
They have a lot of options right
Anuti
here.
Uzoma, that guy. Like,
Just don't pick Jihad
Yeah, I mean, the
Campbell. Don't let it happen, Sean McDermott.
Chiefs.
Don't
I
do
can
it.
see the
Don't do it. I am really nervous now seeing Jihad Campbell on the
taking
board.
Mike Green, but I mean the Bills do it.
The internet is interneting again, Ben.
Yeah, I think I'm good now, though.
Sweet.
Hopefully, am I good now?
I hear
All
you
right,
now.
good. It almost seems like
Okay.
you lag. No, we're good. It seems like the Bills are gonna make the pick. I was gonna say, as soon as the Bills make the pick, I'm gonna internet it again. But yeah, I mean, I think it worked out pretty well. I mean, guys like Grant, Barron, Harmon were probably the top three on my board. But I mean, the fact that Johnson is still available is kind of unbelievable. So I mean, if I was putting in the card, wow, most wins in a 6-season span without a Super Bowl appearance. Thank you, Sean McDermott. You will
God
pay for your
bless.
crimes one day for robbing Josh Allen of an amazing legacy. But I mean, he still could win a Super Bowl or two. And this is a pivotal pick for that journey. I mean, I think it should be Will Johnson. Like the fact that he's still on the board, like a lot of people had him even as a top 5 pick at one point. I get it. The injury concerns it. Yeah, I guess if the Chargers pass on him when they desperately need corners,
all right.
Oh, the pick is in.
Picks people.
The fact that the Chargers passed on him, what he played for Harbaugh, I guess is a red flag. I mean, I don't know. If I was making the pick, I'd say Will Johnson. But if I had to guess the pick,
I would say Trey Amos.
If I had to guess, I would say either Amos or
I would
Landon Jackson. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Stop
I don't. I'm gonna manifest it, and everyone's gonna melt down. All right.
The thing is, too,
let's
is that
just
Jihad
go around.
Campbell is on the board. Jihad Campbell.
I don't think that's
Sean McDermott would do it.
Yeah, McDermott is probably like he's getting a hard on for that name, but
that's what I'm saying. He's gonna do it. That's why.
Okay, if you had to guess, not who would you take, because we all know who Paul would take here. We don't even have to say it.
Let's not take Luther Burden.
Yes. No, but if you had to guess who the Bills would take here, who would be your guess? Not who you would take. I guess I'll go Amos too, just because they need a corner, and the defensive tackle pool really started to dry up quickly. I mean, Nolan, I don't think was a great fit to begin with, but obviously Grant went off earlier than expected, maybe a little bit. Harmon's gone. Yeah. Williams just went kind of early.
I thought it was early, but oh Lord.
And I mean, some of the edges went too, right? James Pierce Jr.
Yep.
Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams. I mean, it could also be Nick Skirt. And I mean, real quickly, before the Bills make their pick, who would you take? Or who do you think the pick is? I guess I'll go Amos. Paul.
I'll go Amos.
All right, here comes the pick. I would say if they're going to make this pick, this is just kind of what I'm thinking. I hate to be that guy, Ben, but I think you're probably right. It's probably about to be Landon Jackson. I hope it's Trey Amos, though. Please be Trey Amos. Trey Amos. But what if it's Azare Thomas right here? Ben, get back in here. I know your internet is interneting, but get back in here. All right, there he is.
I told you that would happen. Paul, did you give your prediction?
Yeah, he did. He said Amos.
So we're all agree Amos. Let's see.
You two said Amos. I said Landon Jackson, but that's just because I got a bad feeling about this.
I said it was Jackson.
I would laugh, though, if it's Azare Thomas with you and I here, Ben.
I would laugh if it was Burden.
That would be an instant jersey buy, too. Him or Amos.
Burden would be an instant jersey buy?
Burden would be a good one, though. I would like the idea of Luther Burden, but I don't want him here. You could imagine you could probably trade back up and do it again, but
all right. Let's see who the pick is.
Here we go.
Let's go Buffalo.
Come on.
With the 30th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Maxwell Harrison. Let's go!
Harrison.
I'm not mad at that either, but that's crazy that he went above.
That's amazing.
Amos,
he went above Trey Amos.
I mean, if you want an athletic quarter, Harrison is definitely that guy. I mean, I don't hate it. Like I saw him. I mean, I kind of started to like him. After that 40, Paul, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I like this pick. I do like this pick, honestly. I think he's definitely wasn't my first corner, but he was definitely a corner that I kind of thought about a lot. I mean, I thought he was going to go a lot earlier than now, but
really,
I mean,
the Chiefs traded.
We have a trade with the Chiefs, but the Eagles literally traded one spot with the Chiefs.
What? That is hilarious. They
Kansas
traded
City,
with each other.
Kansas City trades 31 in exchange for 32 in round 5, 164.
39 vertical, 10 line broad, 4-2-5, but he has the speed and athleticism to make up for some of the deficiency things that he has as far as route recognition and playing it true and playing it clean with consistency. That's what happens. That's why
all right, I don't hate it at all. Like we got our corner. No, let's see how it works tomorrow. How the board works out tomorrow.
This is a nice pick.
Is the first defensive back in school history to go in round 1.
Wow. First defensive back in school history to go in round 1.
That's amazing.
Going 20 yards downfield or more last year. That was 24th in the NFL. Now let's take a look at Max Hairston. Yeah, I got that great. You talk about the ability to
I love it because mostly, you already heard my comment about Will Johnson. I just didn't trust him. I like this. I want to watch a little bit more of Hairston's tape specifically.
He is fast. He was the fastest player in the draft.
Oh, real? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, he ran like a 4.27.
That's nice. Okay, that's definitely a good plus to a corner. Being fast, you're going to be able to keep up with a lot of those speedy deep threats.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely would be a great guy to be the CB2 next to Christian Benford. I definitely need to watch a lot more of Hairston's tape because I don't know a lot about him because I was so focused on like Trey Amos and other corners, but I feel like just based off the tape that ESPN's showing, like that's a guy that Bills would really like because he can cover. It seems like he can cover really well in the zone, and the Bills play a lot of zone defense, so like that's perfect for what the Bills want.
Oh yeah, that's a really good pick.
This technique, refine his route recognition, and that's what you're looking for here.
That's still hilarious. They just traded one spot like, we'll just give him a 5th.
And I like how this is a guy that we drafted that he can probably be a day 1 starter next to Benford. So like that's a plus to this too.
Oh yeah.
How do you think you did?
I think I did good. He almost lifted me up on the hug, but I think I did good. I've been waiting all night for that one.
I absolutely love your energy. You are known as a high character leader at Kentucky. What is Buffalo getting in you?
Man, Buffalo, they're getting the ultimate competitor, the ultimate teammate, and they're getting somebody that's going to give Josh Allen the ball back.
Oh, I love it. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
They're going to get someone that's going to get Josh Allen the ball back. I love it.
That's a great way to say it.
I'll tell you what, the NFL draft makes for a strange bedfellows. Kansas City and Philadelphia met in the Super Bowl just a few months ago. Now they've swapped picks.
Oh, man. I am seeing some really interesting.
Ray Davis liked it too.
With Kansas City.
Didn't Ray Davis went
Yes,
to
he did. He did.
Yeah, that's why. He got his guy.
Finish up round 1 from Green Bay. We're back in a moment on
Man, I'm so happy about that. We're both living tonight. Bills got Hairston. Steelers didn't go quarterback.
Oh, wow. This is such an Eagles pick. I'm not going to say it, but I just saw it on Twitter. Yeah, that's an Eagles pick.
Say nothing, but I feel like it's a Georgia guy. It has to be. I'm kidding, obviously, but still.
Trained to use the power of Dell AI and Intel to see hundreds of miles of tracks, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
This combo meal's got combinations. Make this thing your own creation. Entree, drink, enjoy some size. And it's free to swap fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure we don't air a random BK commercial audio on the air so they don't come after our channel. They would do it too.
Hey, we're giving them free solicitation and free advertisements.
I mean, hey, they want to sponsor us, go right ahead. Now, I want that Ghost sponsorship. Imagine Undercovers podcast sponsored by Ghost Energy.
Oh my God. It's our baby crying.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, paid free, count me in.
God, am just so thrilled that we went cornerback right there.
I mean, we hit a round one need, which was what we needed to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we needed a corner.
It makes tomorrow more interesting because now with all these defensive linemen kind of like off the board, kind of like it makes it interesting to see because the Bills have two late second round picks. Do they try to trade up a little bit so they can make sure they're getting one of the better defensive linemen in the early portion of this draft?
Oh yeah, I have a gut feeling tomorrow night's going to be.
And we get Dean on here to react, and even get his input on Hairston, which I like.
I'm still so thrilled about that. Like, I think if you weren't going to take Amos or Azare, Hairston was that guy, and that is just amazing. I love it so much. I tell you what,
I said all day, expect the Bills to take someone you didn't expect them to take. I don't think anyone expected us to take Maxwell Harrison, which I don't hate. Though. I don't hate. I like the pick.
I actually had Hairston in a couple of other mocks that I did for the Bills in the second round, not in the first. So we got the guy that I actually low-key wanted for a while. So I love it. I really do.
Now, what the biggest thing is here now is what you do after the first round. Kind of like that's kind of what I've been talking about the last few weeks. It's your first round pick can be really good, but how are you gonna make the first round pick look really good with your
I
other
told
two
you
picks?
that is such an Eagles pick.
There he goes.
Man, the Eagles are building like the Monstars on defense right now.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
With obviously they got, they got Jalen Carter. They got
take a look.
Who's that other defensive tackle they got from Georgia?
I can't remember his name right now. But no, to Paul's point, yeah, I definitely think that now that you've addressed cornerback, I think the Bills need to address defensive tackle.
They will. They could trade up for Darius Alexander tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what
Jordan Davis. So look at the Eagles defensive draft chart right now. Mora Ojomo, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Bryce Huff. They did sign Aziz Ojulari, Quinyon Mitchell, Tristan McCullum, Reed Blankenship, Keely Ringo, and Cooper DeGee. That is nasty.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. I'm almost surprised the Eagles didn't take a corner too, because they kind of need one. Yeah, and the Kansas City, that's about to wrap up the first round. I guess we'll see what they do.
This is just a four-man front. He's just rushing in their sub package, but he's got nice high side spit and bend and fold on the quarterback. You can see why on some of the tape when he was playing off ball, right? And he's coming downhill and he's taking on linemen. You can see the shoulder issue because he didn't have that same top and be able to get off and get people off of him. But you figure this, if he's healthy, if both of those, those shoulders are straight, this is a hell of an athlete. He just looks great. He's got a height too. He knows a good football team.
And they can wait. This is one organization, one football team can wait on John.
Well, here's something interesting. I don't know if you guys are also seeing a lot of the other reports, but there are reports that he's got a case going on right now. I don't know if it's right now. I didn't really read too much into the reports. I'm trying to not be on Twitter to get a pick spoiled. But he's got one of those cases hovering over his head, or he might have had one in the past. So it's.
You mentioned Howie Roseman. That was Eagles NFL high 11.
Well, the thing is,
what's that? What's that?
There's been rumors that Harrison has a sexual assault allegations, but I would have feel like the Bills would have done.
Yeah, the Bills definitely did their. I was going to say that. I don't think they would have taken him if they didn't get dot their T's and cross.
Oh yeah, no, I agree 100%. This is a pick that I feel like they did their research on.
Their eyes and cross their T's on this.
Mm-hmm.
And especially after like the whole Matt Ariza thing, like after that.
They don't let that kind of stuff slip.
They aren't gonna let that one. They aren't gonna let that one go because of how that whole deal happened. Yeah, they are absolutely gonna get their guy this time. And if the case comes to push to shove, they're gonna figure it out this time, I think. But no, you know what I'm honestly kind of hoping. So I know talk here is we got to figure out defensive tackle. We got to figure out a couple other positions. The Yinzer circles are talking about wanting to get back into the second round. And I think the interesting thing about that is with their regards, I think they definitely want to get rid of Pickens and move him to somebody else. I know it won't happen, but I would love to get a high second for him from a team like anybody that's got a high pick. Because I know what I do immediately. Look at who's still on the board. Just all around too. Like you still got Will Johnson, but I'm not, really concerned about that. You still got Mike Green. Nick Emanwari's still on the board. Got Eziraku, the one you were talking about earlier, man.
Mike Green. Someone said that watch the Chiefs get Emanwari. That would be crazy.
That would be stupid. You got Darius Alexander still on the board as well. Travion Henderson. Travion is a guy that would be a very Steelers-esque pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to trade up into the second round for a guy like Travion Henderson. But no, really, if they wanted to, I think their trade-up potential for a guy on defense would be for a guy like Emanwari if he didn't go if he doesn't go here, it would be Emanwari. They don't need to worry about.
Cinco likes Harrison.
Yeah, I'm really liking him too. But man, I'm looking forward to what we do tomorrow. I really hope the Bills can use that other second round pick to their advantage. Yeah, look at who's still up.
The Bills have 10 total picks. Now they're down to 9 after this.
They can still move up for Burden.
Right. And I feel like tomorrow
or the Chiefs take Burden. Watch.
Don't say it.
Tomorrow is a trade up in the second round and maybe trade back into the third round type of day.
Hey yo. Did you guys see that pick?
Yeah, not surprising.
Wow. That is nice. I mean, I feel the need to say this because so many people don't like offensive lineman picks. They aren't the sexy picks that everyone loves, but they're so important to pick. You pick O-lineman to keep your quarterback.
Wow, of course the Chiefs get a guy who would have been a top 10 pick if it wasn't for injuries, and they needed tackle help. But
yeah, they need offensive line help.
I mean, we didn't need offensive line, so we can't have people complain. Oh, the Bills let the Chiefs get them.
Yeah, no. The Bills don't need offensive line help that badly. But the Chiefs, they did. I mean, look at what the Eagles did to them in the Super Bowl. Oh, my God, it was a disaster. They had to do this. That was a really, really good pick by the Chiefs.
Yeah, I hate to give them credit.
You were nitpicking to find something negative to say about his play. If he is healthy, and they have one of the best trainers in the NFL, Rick Burkholder, down there in Kansas City.
I hate to give them credit, but yes, that was a very solid pick by Kansas City. And now we're on to round 2.
So hold on.
Bring up the board because there's still quite a bit of talent left. I mean, the Bills could maybe trade up for Eziraku. They could also go after Darius Alexander. I mean, my personal favorite was Alfred Collins in the tackle class. Like, if they could get Alfred Collins and a wide receiver at some point tomorrow, I would be extremely pleased with this draft.
I will also let me quickly go over this because you guys weren't here earlier when I was reacting to picks in the top 10. I want to know what y'all think about some of these other picks. I think out of all of them, Armand Membo to the Jets. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, I thought they might have done something a little different there, but I think that was a really good pick by them. You hate to say it, but I feel like they didn't actually do what we thought they would and ruin it by taking a quarterback. That was a really good pick by the Jets.
Yeah, they need offensive line there.
That is a surprise, if not a shock.
Other than Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders, I don't think is a surprise. I know people were thinking he might be a Jag, but that was never going to happen. I tried telling y'all for months he was going to be a Jag, or Travis Hunter was going to be a Jag at all costs. They loved him way too much, and it shows. They wasted next year's second, making it on everything on him, or next year's first. But what do you guys think about the Colston Loveland pick by the Bears?
That was interesting. I mean, I kind of said for a little bit that I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears went tight end, but the fact they took him over Warren is a little shocking, but I still wasn't shocked that the Bears ended up going in that direction.
Yeah, and according to what everyone says, the reason he fell is because Ben Johnson had a higher grade on Loveland than he had on Warren.
I mean, you got to go with your offensive guru coach.
Yep.
Wants. I think it's a solid pick for the Bears. I mean, quickly, if we were to give day one winners and losers, again, it's day one. The Giants, surprisingly, I think had to be a winner, getting Carter and still being able to draft their guy at quarterback.
Dart. That's the worst pick they could have made. They need a quarterback, but not Dart. Ben's internet is interneting again.
All into Shador. And
Paul, do you have any other thoughts while Ben's internet is interneting again?
No, I was just gonna say winners and losers because, like, I think the Giants had to be one by being able to get Carter, arguably the best player in this draft. It's still getting their guy at quarterback.
I agree.
Having to give up the farm. Obviously the Cowboys are losers for reaching on Tyler Booker. I think the Bengals are kind of too. I think Stewart has potential, but it just feels a touch early for him. Packers, I think, are winners because they took their first wide receivers in 2002. I'm not trying to rub salt in any wounds, Paul, but I think the Packers had a good night. I mean, the Browns, I think, the Browns have to be one of the biggest winners. Like,
oh yeah,
they got a haul.
They got and they still walk away with Mason
tomorrow. Graham. They'll still have 2 top 5 picks tomorrow. A first next year, which depending on how Jacksonville does, could be a top 15 pick. Mm-hmm. Like, they did very well. And did they get picked 90 something too? Because I think
they got a haul.
I mean, they got 3 top 100 picks for number 2, and they just had to move down 3 spots.
Yep.
Jacksonville, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we will see about Jacksonville. That pick is going to be if Travis Hunter pans out, they won this trade. But I know there is another one that I do want to mention, Ben.
How Hunter ends up being. Mm-hmm. Hold on. My last winner was the Colts because they needed a tight end badly, and they did not have to go anywhere to get Tyler Warren. Although it would have been funny for memes if they got Colston Loveland.
That would have been funny. But
hold up. I got to give one more loser. I'm sorry. I know it's in your neck of the woods, but Tampa Bay, what are you doing?
Lost. I thought they
100%.
won.
What?
That is a nasty receiver.
I don't care.
Receiving group.
It's kind of funny though, because you've been talking about defense wins champions up through the draft process. They had one of the worst defenses last year. They got shredded in the playoffs, and they have an elite receiving core to begin with. They already have Mike Evans. They just signed Godwin, and they drafted McMillan. Like, they did not need receivers. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do on defense? Like,
I don't know.
They need defense. That should have been their first round pick. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't love that pick at all for them. Like, I'm glad Baker has weapons. Great for him. But they had an elite offense last year. Like, how much better did their offense really need to get? Like, because it wasn't because of their offense why they lost last year.
Oh, I mean, I agree with you, but that pick is just a slam dunk. I think what they're going to do is they're going to wind up addressing that one in the future. In the second round, third round, they're going to go probably full defense. But
they should have went full defense the first 3 rounds.
But I do want to address a few other winners and give my own losers. And then, unless Paul, do you have any that you want to give first?
You can go first.
All right. So I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. Miami wins for that Kenneth Grant selection. I feel like it might have been a little early to take Kenneth Grant, but to take a guy with that much potential right there, to pair him on a disgusting defensive line with Zach Seiler, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. Oh my God. That, if he pans out, that will be disgusting on the defensive front. But he's still in the AFC East, which means he gets clowned by Josh Allen twice a year. So sorry.
All right. If you had to give another loser, who would it be, Connor?
A loser. So believe it or not, I think another big loser is, honestly, I don't really know if I like the Mykel Williams pick that the 49ers made. I think they reached a little bit to get him, but that's just a very nitpicky way to describe that they might have lost that pick. I think that it was a decent pick overall, but not. I feel like they could have done a little better, personally. I just think they lost on that account alone. Anything to say about that one?
No, I agree. Paul, do you have any winners and losers as we wrap up for tonight? Because we got another full show tomorrow with Dean.
I'll round this out with the positive, with the winner. I think the Jahdae Barron to Denver is a really good pick.
Pair him
I mean,
with
Surtain and
yes.
Barron. Who?
And well, there is one other thing. I know y'all might not think so or think the exact same, but Derek Harmon to Pittsburgh makes them an automatic winner for one reason alone. They did not draft a quarterback. That's why. That's why they win. That's all I'm going to say about it. They drafted a huge need on defense. Derek Harmon can be the guy to replace Cam Hayward in 2 or 3 years. They win based on not taking Shador right there, or Jackson Dart, or heaven forbid Jalen Milroe. Steelers win, and maybe for one more. Actually, you know what? No, I have one more loser. Rams. What are you doing? Why are you trading again? I can't agree with them trading out of round one. Not this time. I think that they didn't get that they need help in a bad way at a lot of positions, and they traded out. Why? I don't see them. I don't see it. Any of y'all got any grievances with either claim I just made?
No. Let's do this again tomorrow. I'll be here the whole time, so
big dubs.
We could definitely maybe even start a little early and preview who the Bills could take tomorrow. Which, you know,
it'll be
we're on the
easier
clock
for me.
again in 23 picks instead of 60, so we don't have to wait quite as long. And usually the second round goes a little quicker anyway. So
and
we'll see.
Nice thing is, I won't have to bring out the full Yinzer. We don't pick in the second round. Not yet, anyway. So it'll be all Bills all night.
Second round.
Yeah, so it'll be all Bills all night. Let's get it, boys. All right. But anybody got any final words other than Ben's internet?
No.
You gonna actually join us this time, Pool Noodle?
Oh yeah, I'll be here the entire time.
Let's
I'm just
wrap
with you. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap
Let's
it
wrap
up.
this up. Yep. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and go Bills.
Oh yeah, go Bills.
Go Bills.
And go Bills.